Last Wednesday, when I went to the library with a couple friends to just study, I came across a friend that I haven't seen in months. And my friend here, his name is Cheyenne. And he used to go to the school in person, but he switched to online for his own reasons. But that's why I haven't seen him in a while. And it was really nice to see him again. I came up to him, I talked to him a little bit. We had a really nice discussion. It was mainly him talking. And he shared a lot about his in-depth research about how Jesus is God. Now, ever since the summer, I've tried to be a Christian, right? I had faith in God. I put a lot of things in him. I try to just listen and, follow his commandments. But I couldn't truly call myself a Christian because, first of all, I still sinned. Second of all, my faith still wavered a lot of the times. And third, I was not putting God as a priority. And that was the key thing. He was not a priority in my life. He was a thing on the side that I could just say I was, but he was not the main priority in my life. And that's the main reason why I couldn't call myself a Christian truly. But this talk with Cheyenne really changed me because he shared a lot of proof on why Jesus is God. And this really made me understand and see the truth of why I should just not care about a lot of things and really put most of my focus into God. And one of his proofs that he shared was this thing called the Shroud of Truth, right? And the Shroud of Truth is basically the cloth that Jesus Christ was covered in when he got crucified and killed on the cross. So when he's in the tomb, right, he gets covered and there's going to be an outline of the blood, right? And you can't see it very well, but when you take a picture with those old-timey cameras, it creates a negative image, which is just a darker version of it. But it lets you see the outline of Jesus Christ, and it is very, very obvious how it is Jesus Christ. And the second proof he brought up was talking about how Jesus Christ's body was not found for over 2,000 years, right? For a religion as big as Jesus or Christianity, you would expect the body to be found already at this point, right? But there's a reason why it hasn't been found. Because, well, God resurrected Jesus and took him to heaven, and his body came along with that. Some people might say that it's because he's not real. That's why his body doesn't exist. But I fully believe that Jesus Christ is real, and he was God and resurrected. And the third thing that kind of sealed the coffin with me believing in Jesus as God is how all the eyewitnesses that witnessed the crucifixion of Jesus Christ and were, martyred for believing in Christianity and being a Christian, they all said the exact same thing. Word for word, they gave the exact same explanation of the events of what happened. And do you know how rare it is, how impossible it is for 50 to 100 people to say the exact same thing if they were lying? That is statistically impossible. And I'll put up a couple screenshots of some of the discussions my friend Cheyenne had on ChatGPT. He just did a lot of this. And he just asked ChatGPT, give me an unbiased explanation of why Jesus is God with proper proof and, believable proof, right? And not Jesus Christ, but ChatGPT himself just said that it is statistically impossible for Jesus to not be God with all the evidence that there is. Now, this is very different compared to my usual videos, but I just needed to share this because I'm going to be taking a very different direction in my videos from here on now. I'm going to be trying to incorporate Jesus and Christianity as a first and foremost, but from that, I'll build off into my previous lessons of how it can benefit your life and so on and so what, right? But you really need a friend like that just opens your eyes and tells you things that you need to hear without even asking them. And I'm really grateful for God sending me a friend like Cheyenne, a brother like Cheyenne, because he took me to church for the very first time, right after that discussion. And that moment just forever really changed me. I was completely convinced, and I feel so much conviction every single time I even do anything wrong. And that's a miracle that God gave me. Me meeting Cheyenne was a miracle to bring me closer to him. And I'm thinking of so many different moments in my life of how God has saved me, right? When I was maybe 5 or 6 years old, I probably would have died without God. And I'll tell you the story. It was when I was on a bus back in China. I was coming back from kindergarten, from school, right? But the seat that I was sitting in was right next to a high schooler's friend. And the high schooler that was standing up wanted to sit next to his friend. So we did a rock, paper, scissors, and I lost. But I was a very stubborn little kid back then, so I didn't want to give up the seat. But the high schooler that was sitting right next to me pushed me off, and that ended up making me hit my head somewhere. And the last thing I remember was seeing a pool of blood. And I can't say for sure, but I do believe it was Jesus Christ that saved me back then. There might have been an image of Jesus Christ that I saw back then, but it's a very long time ago. But I believe truly that God saved me in those moments. And there's other moments where I would have gotten ran over by a car while biking, or maybe died jumping off something. But God saved me all those times. He's protected me so many times. He's gave me so many miracles. And to truly believe in God, you have to live through something like this, or understand and look back at all the things that you can't really explain why they happened, but they just did. So, I hope this video was just a good change of pace for some people that might be in a similar situation that I was in. You know, you're trying to get into Christianity, but you're not 100% committed. You're not 100% believing the miracles that Christ give you. And the one key thing that I will have to say that really makes your faith a lot stronger is by thinking about all the things that God might have done in your life. Think back to all those moments where you had no reason to get what you want, or you had no reason to have the outcome, that whatever the outcome was, but it just happened. And in my opinion, and in my just belief, that is God. That is God working and showing you what he can do. If anyone watching is not into any religion yet, please convert to Christianity, because I really don't want anyone to be sent to hell and not be in heaven, right? And if any of you are still kind of questioning God and if it's real, and if you're not believing, please just do your own research. Or if you have any questions, I'll try and answer them in the comment section down below. Like, say anything, please. I want people to join and build a relationship with God. That's the most important thing, because God has changed my life so much. And I think I can be a testimony for that, right? Back then in summer, when I first became a Christian, I was really depressed. That's not a word I'll say very often, but I was sad, right? I had a lot of hate and resentment towards other people. I'm not going to name who, but there were a lot of people that I had resentment towards. But I didn't really show that. It was slowly starting to crack out, but I didn't show that towards anybody. But God took away that depression and hatred away from me. He took away all those feelings, those expressions, and he really just saved me. He turned my life from one that was in a victim mentality to one that was just a lot more positive. I was able to enjoy life. I was able to live, truly live. And I know this video wasn't completely very organized, but I just wanted to make this because God is so great. I want to praise God for all the things that he's done and share the word. I feel guilty for not sharing this sooner and making this video sooner, because this was something that I really wanted to do. Like right after watching this, or right after making this video, I'm probably just gonna bike out and head to church and pray for like 10-15 minutes. I feel very guilty right now for prioritizing my own YouTube channel over God. But I hope that this video maybe convinced you to take Christianity a little more seriously, or maybe do a little research on it yourself if you're not Christian already. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. So I do really appreciate you for coming to see this video. And if you're seeing this, you're definitely seeing this for a reason. God definitely sent this to your recommended or whatever. But yeah. So just stay consistent, stay disciplined, and keep on building that relationship with God. Alright? But yeah, give me a kiss.